How you doing? Right, getting back onto the camera. So I've been working through a few things, and it's getting complicated. So I've done a lot of sorting. Anyhow, what we're going to do now is we're going to get on with the timber preparation. So let's go through what's going to go on, or what's gone on. Oh, and I'm so sorry about the light. Anyhow, so what we've done is I've got my list of timbers up here. The first frame, which I showed you on the last video, which is nearer the inside frame, then the second, and I did the third. And these are the thicknesses of each one of these. There's a drawing there I'll get to in a bit. Anyhow, I've got to cut that timber out of that bit of mahogany over there on the saw. And I've worked it out, and this is part of this. Oh, that light is awful. I've worked it out. Let me stop you a sec. Hang on a sec. Is that better? Oh, yeah. Don't forget, do yourself a cup of tea. Anyhow, I've worked it out without that timber, because of the 9 is by 35. I've managed to get out the 9 by 35 without out of that bit where the corner is. So there's a radius on the brown piece of timber. So there's a radius on the brown piece of timber. By cutting it quite tight there, because this bit's going to come off and that bit's going to come off, I've been able to get that orange piece of timber, orange frame, I've been able to get that out of those two ends. Each gap is the 3mm saw kerf. And I've been able to just about get those out. And what I've had to do with that is bandsaw those rather than using the table saw. That's my table saw over there. So I've lost 15mm because of the cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've lost 15mm for the cuts. Blue one is the second frame. Green one is the third frame. So there's that's the joints for the first one, which is in orange. And there you see my orange down there. So it's all in the planning. Second one is the blue with different joints there so that they overlap those joints so that it's creating a joint with different joints around it. So it's laminating up a joint, but it's making a structure that's really quite sound. And then the green one is different. So the blue one goes straight across the top. The green one, it's a short across the top and straights on the sides. And that's what we've done. So the next thing I've got to do, and this has taken some serious looking at, I've got to ring Joe because I've got a couple of problems, which I might as well discuss with you now. One of the problems is for me to work with this depth here and get the frame so that it's covering here, so it will have a frame that covers that. I don't think I can work from there. I think this is wrong. I think this needs to go in another few millimeters, probably 5mm in further, which means then I can replicate that on the plate holder, because the plate holder's got to have the door on the back, and here's the door on the back. So it all makes sense, and I'd rather get this right and Joe be happy with this. I can quite easily alter this. That's not set in stone. It's a new piece, you know. It's not fantastic quality. It's all right. It'll do the job, but it might be that I take that way another 5mm or so. Waiting for Joe to give me a ring. We'll take it from there. Right, next thing to do is, well, the next thing I've done, I'll show you. And there it is. So that now has been cut to that. So these pieces of timber, I can now get out of this, it's just over 1 metre strip of that big timber. So there's the other bit, look, it's up there, it's that piece there. So out of that 2.6 metre length, I've got the first metre, and the first metre should do all of the external framework on there. Yes, I've then got to do the panelling, like the door on the back and this slidey openy bit that needs doing, But I'm going to use some of this as well. I'm going to incorporate some of this in that paneling. So it might just be a bit of paneling around the existing, because we're using that for parts. So that could be on the back of the door. That could be part of the plate holder. I want to use that section on the top here. So once you've taken this out, you'll see that lovely wooden old section. And I think it'd be great to reuse, because Joe's told me that this is a Watson plate holder. So it's the same manufacturers. So it makes sense to use the same piece. Are you still with me? Is this making sense? Hope so. Right, I'm going to set the planer up now. So what the next thing to do is to sort out getting these thicknesses here, 9.1, 11.1, 16.5. That gets me part of this very complicated upside down moulding, which I haven't got all the dimensions on yet. Do I turn you upside down, or shall I turn this? I've done my share of turning upside down lately. Right. So there's some measurements I know are spot on here, which are these measurements up here, and this I'm flexible with, and that's I'm flexible with, and this I'm okay with, but there's some more detail needed just there. So I need a chat with Joe just to make sure that we're on the same page. I need to know a bit more about the usage. Once I know a little bit more about the usage and how, I'll tell you why. It's because of that. It's because of this spring. It's because the glass is 2mm and that's a 7mm rebate. I need to know what's going to go behind this. What's the makeup? Because that 7mm there is going well inside inside this, which means that panel that I've got to make for there would have to be deeper this way. And I don't want to make the heaviest thing in the world. The idea is to make it as light as possible and as strong as possible with all this joints and laminating. So quick chat with Joe. But anyhow, first of all, plane this lot up to thickness. I might be able to see you upside down now. I might be able to sort once I've got the thicknessing right. Once I've got the thicknessing right, I might be able to sort the width of each piece of timber, because the top piece is 40mm, whereas the bottom and two sides are 35mm. Anyhow, you'll catch up with that a bit. It'll all start making sense once I start putting some bits and pieces to it. But I need to know some more of it, because I need to know this bit here before I start gluing timber together. Okay, you've got this, haven't you? Okay. Put the kettle on. I'm not going to be much longer. We've had 8 minutes already. I'm going to plane this timber up, and then we'll take it from there. I might as well go through these with you in real time. So, my lovely drawing, which I've moved out the way. So here we go. This lovely drawing has ended up with these pieces of timber. Now you can see what I'm getting at. I want to show you this. So if you look at the orange bit on the end, you see those rounds on the top and bottom of the ends? Well, this is what I've ended up with. I've ended up with these rounds on either side, but I actually only want from there, from my thumbnail to my thumbnail. So because I only want those areas, I'm only wasting this. My waste is minimal. It really is minimal. Mahogany is not easy to get hold of now, so I don't want to be wasting any of this at all. So the next thing to do is to start cutting these widths down and then playing them up. But I just want to say I've had a slight issue, and this is bound to happen. I had a slight issue. The 3 out of the middle, which were the 16.5s, I think are just less than 16.5. Yeah, they're 16, just over 16. So I'm half a mil shy with those. And that was because I'd got some burning on here. I'd got some, where I'd push the timber through, the timber wasn't 100% straight. So when you've got a small workshop and you're on your own and you're doing things, sometimes if the timber is pushing against the saw blade, it'll leave like a saw cut round there, a black burnt saw cut, and I didn't want that in there. So I've sacrificed the thickness just to get rid of the burn so that these sides are beautifully planed, because these will be put back together. So I don't want any witness. And if I can show you this now, if I can just grip those and show you, you know, even like that, you can hardly see any joints. So when they're glued up, and because each piece will be glued to the next piece in that manner like that, you're just not going to see the joint. You're actually going to think it's a machined out joint, which would be really awkward to machine, really awkward to make accurately, because every piece has got to be right. That's why we're laminating. Anyhow, next step is to cut the widths down on these. Cut these widths down. I think the 11s, what did I want, 11.1? 11.1, I think they're just under. Yeah, they're just under. So they're under as well. That's no problem at all. I can get round those problems. It just might mean that I've got to rebate more out of the one part and then just take a little bit of a rebate out of the other part. That's fine if it takes a little bit longer, but I'm not wasting timber. Don't mind that. And actually it'll look better, and it'll be a better construction if some of these rebates are done out of into both layers rather than just out of one. So right, so that's done. Where are we? 12 minutes. You guys had enough? You might have had enough by now. Sort out the width. Where's my board? So that's done, that's done. I've got to sort out the thickness, which is 35 and 40, so we'll do that in a bit. I think we're done. I think we're done for now. I can't do anything else. I need a conversation with Joe. Once I've had a chat with Joe, then that will allow me to sort out some of these rebates inside about how deep they are. So for now, we can go. Unless you want a quick look at some planes I've got. So I've got one or two planes here that might take your interest, and we can do a bit about planes sometimes. I use the majority of these planes. There's a gap there because there's a couple in use. Oh, my messy bench, you don't want to see that. Oh, right, okay, do you want to see that? So yeah. So we'll get back to the camera pretty soon, and we'll take it from there. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, share. What else? Oh, I think that's about it for now. So this will go on Friday evening sometime, and then we'll do another one on Saturday, and then you can see, because I've got minimum to do Saturday. I've got to take that off, and then I can start constructing, doing the miters, getting things sorted. So speak to you soon. Cheers.